To say we have more than enough of what we need to survive is the understatement of a lifetime. I'm Grace Holtz, and I have been on 2 La Romana medical missions trips, and I got something different out of it each time. The first year, I learned that we are all really not that different. Even though we don't have access to the same resources, the kids love playing ball, laughing, and joking around just like me and you. The parents are all just doing what they need to survive while still trying their hardest to provide the best care for their kids. I learned that although we speak different languages, it's not that hard to communicate. I don't speak a lick of Spanish. I'm still working on the whole English thing, but words aren't the only way to communicate. Smiles, hugs, love, and most importantly, faith are all universal. The second time I went down, I learned why we are not all that different. And the reasoning is because we are completely different. Hear me out. We have access to more food, more water, more hygiene, more everything than they do, but how are we both still smiling, laughing, and joking around? If those are all the necessities we need to live, and we have more than enough of them, and they don't have enough, how are they loving harder than us? It's because they are living off their faith. All week, they work their butts off with little to no pay, no proper footwear, if any at all, hungry, sick, and injured. One bad thing happens to us, and we question if God's even real. How do they do it? Faith. They have faith in a brighter future. They trust God is with them, and they have resilience and perseverance beyond what we can even comprehend. I am someone who tends to find the good in people and situations. It's a blessing and a curse. I do notice the bad, but I notice the good in it. There is so much devastation from the Bates to the barrios, but it's not all bad. They have a sense of community that you don't get on a nice house in a cul-de-sac. Everyone knows everyone, and everyone knows everyone's situation, to the point where it's hard to tell whose child is whose. It's almost like as if they are one big family. Walking down the street, there is always people sitting outside their house, listening to music, just watching life go by. There is something to be said for the fact that they can trust someone with their lives that they can't physically touch or see. They see so much hurt every day, but they go to God and not away from Him. They call on Him, they are thankful for Him, and they praise Him so passionately you can feel it without even knowing what they're saying. When I walk into that church on Sunday, I can feel how much love they have for our Lord, and it's truly moving.
Hello, everyone. I'm Heather Rausch, and this past February, I attended the La Romana trip for the first time. So I like just to say yay, because I've been a very long time supporter of the La Romana mission. I've been a member of the church for probably about 20 years. And to actually go in person, it's really hard to put words to this, how impactful this mission is to me personally and to the people that we serve on the mission. So, but if I could come up with one word, I guess I would just say enormity. The enormity of teamwork. I think almost 30 people attended the trip. The enormity of labor that the team members provide, transporting medical supplies, clothing, and the construction equipment through airports, buses, and even on farm trucks. The enormity of daily sorting of supplies for distribution each day, and the enormity of leadership and patience, lots of patience, and coordination by Erin O'Connor and Jen Colburn, and the enormity of the impact and hope that we provide to the displaced Haitians who are working the sugarcane bates, the injustices that they face, the living conditions that they face, yet they show up excited to see us every day, and they're so appreciative and grateful to the medical care, to the resources that we can provide. It's just to do that in person is just really special. And you see the hope that we bring to a very difficult lifestyle that they have to live. In addition to all the enormity, we have the recent expansion to provide education funding for several youth and to replace the roof that collapsed at their church in the La Romana. There's also the enormity of support provided by the First Church congregation to raise the funding for this mission. And I'd just like to end by saying the enormity of gratitude for this mission and hope for the Dominicans and the Haitians. If anybody gets the opportunity to either support the mission through our online silent auction, sponsorships, just a pair of hands to sort supplies, donate clothing, or attend the trip yourself in person, it was just extremely rewarding. And I wanted to thank Erin and Jen for their leadership this year. It was extraordinary.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Martin Bates. I went to La Romana this year with my daughter, Ella, who's 15. We're both new to First Church Stirling, and everything happened really quickly for us. Our first visit here was last November, and that day we heard all about your work in La Romana, and 2 weeks later we were filling out the paperwork to join the team for the trip. My wife and I thought it would be a great experience for Ella. She didn't need any persuasion at all. She was excited as soon as she heard about the opportunity. Like many other parents, I signed up thinking I was going to support Ella. As time went on, though, I realized the trip was every bit as good for me as it was for her. This was our first mission trip, but we felt very comfortable signing up so quickly. The great thing about this mission is that you've been doing it for so long. Everything's really well organized, or felt really well organized to us. And that collective experience that you have, it makes it much easier for newbies like us to dive in. So we felt well prepared by the time we left. Having said that, I still had to pinch myself as we traveled to the first bate. If you told me a few months before that I'd be in the Dominican Republic, off-roading in a rusty old school bus in the middle of nowhere with 30 new friends, I would never have believed you, but there we were. We love being part of an amazing group. The ages and skills and experience were all over the map, but everyone pulled together to help our friends in the Dominican. And the vibe was really positive and supportive. I enjoyed everything that I did in the bates: construction, the medical clinic, the Bate Bible School. The best part for me was the opportunities to connect one-on-one with the people we were serving. So if I could highlight just one thing from this trip, it's that sometimes you support a good cause, but you still feel a bit distant from the people you're helping. La Romana is the complete opposite of that. You are right in the middle of it, hands-on. For example, in the medical clinic, I checked vitals as the patients arrived. So I was sitting face-to-face with 30 patients. The youngest was 3, the oldest was 90. I was only with each person for a few minutes, but you could see the personalities and the emotions up close. It made everything feel very real. It felt like every face told a story, and I loved it. I know our annual visit has its limitations, but when you see our medics at work and the hospital that previous teams helped to build, and the kids' smiles as we play with them, you can tell that our mission team does make a difference, and it felt great to be part of that. And of course, I loved watching Ella and all of our teams embrace the experience. I was glad I could share it with her. She misses La Romana. She keeps looking at her photos from the trip, and she's already excited to go back next year. I feel the same way, and I'm just so grateful that First Church gave us this opportunity. Thank you.
I'm Erin O'Connor. I wanted to first thank you for supporting the mission trip to La Romana again. By the generous sponsorships, donations, baskets, auction bids, packing, sorting, we were able to bring about 3,000 pounds of supplies down there. We had an amazing team of 29 missionaries. Most of them were from the First Church, but we also had the First Congregational Churches of Shrewsbury and Auburn that joined us. We had 4 nurses, we had 2 pharmacists, 11 youth, I think 9 men came on the trip, a medical team that was caring, they were effective, they were amazing. They saw over 600 patients in 5 days. And some of the patients that we saw had not had care in over a year since we were there a year before. Through the Days for Girls program, we purchased 375 reusable, sustainable feminine hygiene kits. They were sewed by local women on the island. There were another 100 that were made at the First Congregational Church in Shrewsbury, and they're actually holding a sewing bee today. So if anybody wants to join them after church, it's going till I think 1 or 2 o'clock, and they have material and sewing machines, but they're making kits for next year. The young women of the Bate receive education about feminine hygiene, about their bodies, that they are actually amazed at learning this information. And we also help to sustain local women that are sewing and assembling these beautiful kits. So thank you. The construction team worked on cement sidewalks in Abate, and it was tiring, it was heavy labor. They came back pretty exhausted at the end of the day. They had awkward wheelbarrows. They had loads of children that wanted to help them. And it took another 4 days to complete work that was started a year ago, but they completed these sidewalks that helped to keep, to sustain these homes. They also repainted doors of the Bate homes. They refreshed a pergola, picnic tables at the Good Samaritan Hospital, and the father-daughter duo of Grace and Kirk skillfully installed an industrial refrigeration system for medical storage at the hospital. And they installed new shower heads at Casa Pastoral. I can tell you it was a huge improvement for the end of a long, hot, and dusty day to get those new shower heads. On Friday, the construction team was also honored with songs. They visited the primary school, Joe Hartman School, that our congregant sponsored for children to go to school for the next year. And education is the key to unlock the golden door to freedom. Our Bate Bible School interacted with hundreds of children. They played games, they made crafts, they read books. They gave out deworming medication. I can say that one of the highlights for me was reading a book with a little child in Canada del Negro Bate. We saw a need for more shoes for the children. And so we went on a shopping spree, and we decided that we needed to have a second Bate Bible School to join the construction team because there were so many children there, and they just needed more love and affection. So the team was incredible. They were flexible, they recognized this need, and they had a lot of fun. Basically, the mantra for the week was tuck and roll. Most of all, I think we had a wonderful, meaningful, tiring, unpredictable, but a special time together. We cared for each other, and we cared for the families in the Bates. We gave them joy, we gave them hope, and we let them know that they're not forgotten and we're all God's children. Team each brought different skills and talents, and each was like a different colored thread that when you weave it together, it was strong, it was flexible, it was unique, and it was a beautiful tapestry. And your amazing support made the mission possible. So from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you.